much. Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished dignitaries, Shri S.K. Jain, Srimati Madhuri Tai Nisar, Professor Uday Sanughe, Dr. Anil Rao Paila, Dr. Madhavi Lokhande, organizers of NEEV, faculty and students of the Wellingkar Institute of Management Development and Research, and future managers of India. I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to address such a vibrant and energizing audience. For a graying babu like myself, meeting and interacting with the enthusiasm of youth is just what the doctor ordered. It is my good fortune that my speaking career gives me the opportunity to self-indulge on a regular basis in juvenescent company like yours and inhale some of the joy that is in the air this afternoon. But today also makes me a little sad because success is not low-hanging fruit. Transcending limitations within and without is not easy, even when you are young, especially when you are young. A few weeks ago, I addressed a group of young engineers and managers like yourselves. When the program was over, I was surrounded by a group of students who wanted to know how to write the civil service exams and so forth. Then, from that group, a young man shyly spoke up. "Madam, how to overcome fear of failure?" This young man, I must say, showed no external signs of a nervous personality. Well-built, smartly dressed, there was nothing that could have given a casual observer a clue as to the fear that was eating away at his psyche. At that moment, he somehow put his trust in me and revealed his vulnerability. When I was invited to address all of you today, I thought of this young man. On the one hand, we have the expectations of society, our family, our peer group, weighing down on us, pushing us on to succeed, be studious, get placement, and settle down. When we become professionals, there is the pressure of targets, projects to manage, and bills to pay. We must perform, whether it is the beginning of the week or the end of a long, exhausting one. On the other hand, those very expectations mute our souls. They stifle us from discovering our own potential, from aiming high, from imagining beyond the limitations of an ordinary life and aspiring to the extraordinary. This is a question which troubled me from the time that I was a very young girl, much before I could find the vocabulary to articulate it. There seemed to be a dichotomy between what my teachers, parents, friends, and the societal system wanted me to achieve and what they would allow me to achieve. On the one hand, there was my aspiration for a higher education, to move from undergraduate to postgraduate. At that time, that was the limit of my horizon. On the other hand, there was a societal expectation that girls should marry before they graduate from marriageable age to a certain age. To you, it may seem very odd, but a higher education and a career was not the normal trajectory for a girl some 35 odd years ago. that period in my life when I was looking to go from undergraduate to graduate, postgraduate, and my parents were looking for me to marry, that was the first storm in the little teapot of my life. Unfortunately, my personal aspirations prevailed and determined the course of the rest of my life. So you see, my education is a hard-won battle, and perhaps that is the reason I never stop learning and never lose an opportunity to encourage others towards education as well. So what is the message of my little morality tale? In the final analysis, it boils down to a choice. That choice can be made only by you. Our lives are made up of choices, and looking back to that nervous student's question, the first best option when you have to make a choice is to look to yourself. Your first client as a manager is yourself. Be your own best friend who inspires you to transcend the psychological and physical hurdles that are keeping you from reaching your goals. Conquer yourself first. I do not mean this in a spiritual sense. I mean this in a simple, pragmatic sense of doing the thing that you fear. If you are scared of public speaking, go and speak. If you have spent the last 10 years avoiding mathematics, slog over statistics today. Invest in yourself. Challenge yourself. Believe in yourself. What is amazing about people is, despite the external forces at play on our lives, we can always be influenced by attitude. If you can motivate yourself, your hidden resource is tapped and you are ready to get up and go again with renewed energy and focus. Is that enough? Believe in yourself, do your thing, make the right choices at the right time, and life will be smooth sailing? You would have transcended your fears and limitations, right? Well, yes and no. If your goals are limited, a degree, a job, a Ferrari even, then self-reliance is a great tool. But that is not what today is about. If you aim for unconquered territories, you need to do more. The success-driven ethos that we have adapted and adopted unquestioningly accepts, even tacitly encourages, indifference to the society around you. But we cannot remain indifferent anymore. If I have learned anything in my 30-odd years of public life, progress is not, it cannot be a solitary activity. In India, we have a peculiar presumption that in order that I should succeed, someone else must fail. Not so. On the contrary, unless the society around you advances, you cannot. Even corporates have moved from a narrow profit orientation to a larger responsibility for society, and that is why we have CSR and so many philanthropic foundations. What if Mahatma Gandhi had fought for freedom only for himself? Or to choose an example closer to you, what if Hurley, Shen and Kareem had confined YouTube for their own use? YouTube without sharing would not be YouTube, right? So too, without sharing, you would not be you. Your second client as a manager, therefore, is society. Look around you. Whatever calls out to you as unfairness, injustice, wrongdoing, strive to right it. Whatever needs your help, a child that needs a tutor, an aspirant who needs a mentor, a depressive who needs your affection, lighten someone else's load. Give, contribute, share. If this were an ordinary audience, the proper management of these two clients, self and society, would be enough. But for you, that is not enough. You have to transcend the limitations of the ordinary and reach for the extraordinary. There is a beautiful Sanskrit word, Vishvam Shoham. I am a portion of the universe. To me, this signifies a responsibility not just to myself, not just to the society around me, but to the cosmos. An intergenerational responsibility to the universe. No, I am not talking far-fetched metaphysics. I am talking science. Just as we serve our country by being good national citizens, so too we fulfill our intergenerational role by being responsible global citizens. How do we do that? It is easier than you think. Recycle, reuse, segregate. Be aware of peoples and cultures near and far. Read and travel and reach out to other cultures. Use public transportation. Produce less trash. Yes, here again, there are simple ways towards managing your third client, the world. Dear managers of tomorrow, the science and art and design of transcending limitations is simple. In one way or other, you are managers. You just have to manage your three clients, self, society, and the universe. And it is possible to fulfill your responsibilities to these three clients through simple, doable, practical steps. My favorite lines in English poetry are Robert Browning's. Ah, but a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what is heaven for? I want your reach to exceed your grasp, because you are grasping at the heavens. Thank you all. And